And some special guests here at ricehouse.com, with it being International Education Week across Rice University. We are joined by Vicky and Nastia Smirnova. How are y'all?
Good, and you?
Cannot complain. So I understand, before we get rolling here, the sisters, obviously you room together. So you're in the same suite. Are you on campus, off campus? Is it easy living with each other?
Honestly, it's really great. I'd rather room with my sister than like with someone else.
Vicky, Nastia is not leaving clothes around everywhere, like leaving the milk jug out without the lid on or anything like that?
No, it's fine. I mean, we are used to live together, so yeah, nothing surprising. But I mean, we also majoring the same major, so we like spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was going to be one of my questions. I get to interview so many Rice athletes throughout the year. What are the studies like, before we talk about action on the court and your unique family background? But Vicky, what are y'all studying, and what do you like about the major?
So we're both studying sport management, and the reason we like it is because it's about sports, and we've always seen it from like an athlete's perspective, even when my dad was still playing. And so now it's more interesting to see how it works from like the business side. So that's why we really like it.
Mm-hmm. And Nastia, is it, I guess you got a good study partner at home, in addition to somebody to practice with from time to time too, huh?
Yeah, right. It's honestly so helpful to have someone to like study with together and like practice together. Just like makes life easier as an athlete.
So, Nastia, it is International Education Week across campus. And the first thing that hit me when I was looking down your tennis roster was everybody is international. So what is that like? I mean, other sports you have a lot across United States, but what's it like, Nastia, to have such an international flavor? And I imagine you get a lot of different personalities mixed in there too.
Honestly, it's awesome because everyone's really unique and like everyone has a different background. And I guess it's easier to kind of relate to another international student athlete because I'm international myself. So it just like makes it easier to talk about some things that surprised us, or like cultural shocks here in America. Like it's just like much better like experience, I feel like.
Yeah, Vicky, same with you. And in addition to Rice being such a great international place for students, not just student athletes, how is that, as you juggle both being a student and an athlete, an international one at that?
I mean, I don't really feel a difference between like international students and American students. I mean, this like community is so welcoming. So like every single day, just we meet like new people, or just like you experience different things, and it's just like a really fun experience overall.
Mm-hmm. And Nastia, discuss the first time you heard about Rice and the path coming to Rice. What was that path like?
I was just looking at different universities and I Googled and I saw Rice and I was like, oh, that seems like my dream school. Like I really like the athletic program and like the academics, but I didn't know how to get in touch with the coaches. And it just happened that at that time, the assistant coach, Tyler, like texted my sister saying, hey, do you want to play college tennis? And my sister was like, yeah, I have also a twin sister. So they kind of started recruiting us both.
Yeah, you read my mind for that next question, Vicky. Was it like, hey, I have to go somewhere Nastia does, or did y'all entertain the thought of maybe going to separate schools, Vicky?
I mean, we both wanted to go to the same school because even in high school we studied the same thing. So for us, it was normal to go to the same place, and we were like a special package for the coaches. So recruiting was really interesting as well.
So the obvious question from a tennis layperson like me, I don't pretend to be a tennis expert by any means, but I love talking to Coach Schmidt and even Coach Houston talk. They help me out kind of learning the game. So from y'all's standpoint, playing against each other growing up. I imagine that had to benefit that other athletes and other of your competitors, even across Conference USA, start with you, Nastia, they don't get to have that kind of home advantage, just going home and having somebody to play with.
Right. It's like nice, but at the same time it's awful because you start to spend so much time together, but at one moment you just want to play with someone else. You just want to be with someone else around. So it's great. So I'm really grateful for like having Vicky as my hitting partner, like always being with her. But at the same time, I'm really happy that I'm part of a team where I get to play with different teammates and they're as good as my sister. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, Vicky, what was the earliest y'all played against each other and with each other? Kind of a two-part question.
I mean, since we were like what 6 or 7, like the first like tennis tournaments we played against each other. It was never a great experience. And with doubles, we played together before coming to college, but it was sometimes it was great, sometimes it was bad. People who have like siblings, we can understand what it's like to play a team game with your siblings. So, and it was always challenging. So I remember that we told Elizabeth, please, can we play doubles but not with each other? Because it's just like mentally exhausting. You would say stuff, but you wouldn't say to another person. And I mean, sometimes we had like great doubles, but overall, it wasn't like always great.
And so, Nastia, y'all's freshman year, you helped the Owls win back the Conference USA title. First, with that, what was that experience like coming in? Obviously, you said earlier, I have to get to Rice. That's my dream school. So then you come in, and then you in conference your first year. So I know you've still got a lot of tennis ahead, but that freshman year almost seemed too good to be true. Just coming in with that success.
Honestly, the start of my freshman year, like the fall semester, I was like out because of an injury. So when I came back for a season, I was really excited to play, and playing the conference was like at the same time so exciting, but it was also like really stressful because if you lose, you're just out of the tournament, not the same thing as playing this season. So when we got to the final, I think we just really wanted to win so badly. I mean, I think if I remember well, out of the 6 matches, single matches, we were losing 5%, and we were still able to win the match. So honestly, it was just because we all worked so hard, and I'm really grateful to be part of this team because we really wanted to win, and actually we got the win. So honestly, it can be better at the freshman year.
And Vicky, as a sophomore, I've talked to different athletes about this, and mentally, I'm sure it's very draining. You didn't get to, you're ended early. So how was that dealing with that? If I remember Coach Schmidt telling me it just ended so abruptly. How did you deal from that from a player standpoint?
I mean, I kind of saw it coming because I knew some girls from Ivy League, so I knew that their season was canceled. But it was hard because we were practicing and we were kind of joking about this being like our last team practice, and so we just decided to put on some music and like play games. And then, like a few minutes later, Coach Elizabeth came back and she said that the season is canceled. So it was hard because we kind of ended not on a great note because the last game we lost it. So it was kind of hard, but at least I'm grateful. But my freshman year was great, but we won the conference, so we could at least remember something compared to our freshman who came in and her like first season, first college experience was just canceled. So it was hard, but I tried to like look at it like with like a positive mindset and I was more grateful for my freshman year.
And Nastia, was that the sentiment also with the rest of the teammates? Because I mean, I'm sure it's a range of emotions. I mean, no happiness really, so maybe not a range of emotions, but just sadness, anger, going through all that. But I'm sure it still fuels you to try to get ready for whenever you do play again, right?
Yeah, for sure, because we want to keep winning the conference. So like everyone is really ready for season. Everyone is thinking about season because it just like ended, as you said, so abruptly, and we just want to get the title again. So everyone is actually really pumped. So I guess that's the positive thing out of it, is that we are really can't wait to go and play season.
So more on y'all's background. So you're from Nivelles, Belgium, but born in Moscow, and your parents, Alexei and Natalia, are both professional table tennis players, and that got me so intrigued when I saw that, because, like, I guess every youngster, you think you can play a little bit of table tennis. But so did y'all start playing table tennis and then it kind of evolved into tennis, first Victoria? Or was it like, hey, no, it's always been tennis and I didn't want to mess with table tennis because that's what mom and dad were doing?
Actually, our parents didn't want us to play table tennis because they didn't want to coach us. And at that moment, we were living in a really small town in Germany, so you didn't really have lots of things to do. And we were really active as like children, so they wanted to like give us somewhere so we could like spend our energy. And tennis was just there; it was like the only sport, so that's how we started. So it wasn't really intentional. Um, and yeah, like I mean, we can play table tennis, but it's not great. Like we cannot compare to our parents. I mean,
But Nasty, it's all relative, right? I mean, I'm looking at the notes they gave me. Your dad was ranked as high as 11th in the world, played in the Olympics 3 times, the top ranked player in Russia for 20 years. So Nastia, I'm sure you've got some table tennis skills deep down in there. You try to dust them off at a party or something, or how does that work?
Honestly, I wish, but I feel like I'm just playing tennis on a small table. It just like doesn't look like anything like table tennis. It's just like really bad. Our parents really tried to like make us play better and like have some technique, but we just wanted to play points with Biggie, so it never really worked. So I guess like no, we definitely can't compare to like decent table tennis players.
Yeah. So the parents, they can always brag, hey, maybe they have the table tennis, but you've got the more, I guess, demanding game of tennis. That's probably the more arduous one. Vicky, you ever say, hey, maybe you can beat me in table tennis, but I've got you on the court here?
I feel like we could. I mean, I could beat them in tennis, obviously, but overall, I think the score would be better if they would play tennis and not me playing table tennis. Because everything is faster in table tennis. You have a lot of spin. Sometimes my dad is just like, "Oh, Vicky, now I'm going to hit the ball, and when you're going to hit it, it will go to the left." And so I'm trying to do everything that I can so it doesn't go to the left, but it still goes there because we just have so much spin and um, like it's way more intense than tennis. Tennis, where it seems like in table tennis, it's like such a small table that you don't need to do a lot of things. But if you check out like all the picture of like professional table tennis, their legs are just like huge because they stay low the whole time. And it's like nothing compared to like to regular tennis players. So I honestly don't know. Like both sports are really hard, but personally thinking, I think table tennis is harder.
And Nastia, who are your favorite tennis players growing up that you modeled your game after?
Honestly, I really like David Denko and Maria Sharapova with like Marat Safin, I guess, because like they were all Russian, so I was kind of biased towards this. And after like when I was like a teenager or something, I really liked how the Belgian players played, Enna and Kim Clijsters. So I guess like just watching them really helped me to like develop my game.
Vicky, same players, since y'all obviously have lived together your whole life. Same influences, or did you kind of follow some other players too that you modeled your game after?
I mean, pretty much the same players, but I would say Djokovic and Safin mostly because I just like the way they were playing and I could relate more to them because even though like Nasi and I would have similar games, they're still quite different. So we still have like our own preferences.
All right, I've got to ask you some Texas questions now. because we talked about it being an international flavor. So you won't offend me, by the way, as a native Texan, you will not offend me. First, Nastia, anything that you particularly love about Texas that you kind of adapted to? Like, do you say y'all? Do you have to get some Tex-Mex, or is there anything that you kind of brag about to the folks back home?
I honestly love how people here are welcoming, how nice they are, and they just like love to chat. Something that back home, like people would still chat with you, but it will be like a small talk. They wouldn't really get personal. And here, like people, I feel like really care about you. And just like talking with people here, I love it. And when I go back home, I realized that I became more chatty with people. I just want to like get to know people better. So I guess it really influenced me. Texas really influenced me.
So, Vicky, are you saying y'all yet, or any good barbecue spots in Houston? Because that's what we're kind of known for around here.
Um, no, not yet. Maybe, who knows? Maybe my senior year I will. Um, but yeah, I guess because we are such an international team, we actually don't eat a lot of like American food, to be honest. Um, but yeah, like I think the first time I tried like some like real like Texan food was during freshman year, and it was really good. So I really enjoyed it.
Okay, I don't want to get you. Believe me, look at me. You don't want to get on my diet plan. Stick to what Coach Schmidt and the staff has. But hey, it's been great getting to meet y'all, and good to just hear this story. I know a lot of people will enjoy it. Thanks for joining us here. Okay.
Yes, thank you for inviting us.